we are following closely the things that are happening in Washington D.C. right now, where there are many different "Stop the Steal" quote unquote "Stop the Steal" rallies taking place in the American nation's capital, and we're now seeing individuals from far and wide, all throughout the United States, who feel that there were shenanigans taking place in the United States. They have now descended on Capitol Hill, and Americans are people who you don't really want to irritate. We're already seeing pictures and video footage of individuals breaching security. I mean, they breached the security. I mean, Capitol Police. This is the United States Capitol, one of the buildings which was the target on 9/11, and America, one of the supposed to be the most powerful country on earth, and you got patriots from all over the place, from Georgia, from Texas, from Florida, from Tennessee, from California to Oklahoma, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all coming in on Washington, and they storming the police barricades. I mean, these guys aren't going to take it no more. They're not taking it. And I want to say to people who are disheartened by the events that took place in 2020, don't get disheartened. Because 2021 is the new 1776. For Americans, 1776 was their Independence Day. In France, it was 1789. And in the Third World, it was sometime in the 1960s. But whichever year you identify with as an Independence Day, just know that that is what is taking place worldwide. And we are going to win. We are going to win. And the reason why we are going to win is because slowly but surely, the population is beginning to realize that in order for the New World Order and the globalists and the control freaks, the politicians, the big businesses, the media, the establishment, Joe Biden, Kamala Lock a Brother Up Harris, Justin the Tackhead Tarface Swiftfoot McDaddy Trudeau, Doug the Domesticated House Slave Ford, Emmanuel Macron, Angela Merkel, the Rothschilds, the Boris Johnson, all of them, for the only way they can succeed is with our cooperation. And many of us aren't going to cooperate anymore. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We've realized, and I'm proud of Americans for realizing this. Americans don't need a president to keep their freedom. And those patriots out there in D.C. right now, Alex Jones, Owen Schroyer, all those guys out there who have, I'm literally seeing video footage. These guys in the thousands have stormed into the Capitol building. It's live right now. They have stormed the Capitol. They have stormed. The police can't handle it. And that's one thing I admire about Americans. I wish Canucks had this same mentality. They're going to put up, if Joe Biden, who I believe is going to get into the White House, but what's happening is symbolic. Just because he's going to get in the White House doesn't mean that this is a victory. Because if he thinks that he is just going to walk on in there with Kamala, who, by the way, I'm sure is going to be walking 2 steps in front of him, but if Kamala, with herself, and Joe Biden, and Raphael Warnock, and Nancy Pelosi, and all those dogs, if they think they're just going to walk on in there and take away American liberty and shut down American businesses whenever they feel like it at the drop of a hat and force everybody to wear masks and force everybody to take vaccines and force people to do things they want to do and take away their guns, take away their freedoms, take away their personal liberties, take away their privacy, and start wars all over the country, all over the world, let me tell you, they've got another thing coming. it's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. Hell for Kamala Harris. It's going to be hell for her. I don't believe Joe Biden is going to remain as president for 4 years. And I don't even think he's the worst one. I think Joe Biden is, he's gone. He's lost. Kamala is the one. I'm coming for you. We're coming for you, Kamala. We're coming for you. Hey! Hey, Kamala! You puppet of the globalists! And Raphael Warnock from Georgia and Sam Ossoff and Nancy Pelosi and all these globalist shills, these Bill Gates, George Soros, New World Order puppets, if you think that you are going to do to America what the New World Order has done to my country, Canada, or Europe, you've got another thing coming. It is not going to be easy. I mean, you think the Tea Party was bad. You think the Tea Party was bad to Obama. You think that what happened in Waco during Clinton. You think that the anti-war protesters with Bush, you think they were bad. You think they were bad. You think that the Vietnam War protesters back in the 60s were bad. I'm telling you, any organization that can break through Capitol Police and storm the Capitol building, you better be afraid of them. Americans aren't going to put up with leftist nonsense. Don't be disheartened. Americans, don't be disheartened. I see now that they've won in Georgia. Both of those morons there. Raphael Warnock. And by the way, I don't like him even more than Assad. And, you know, people say, oh, but he's a black man. Let me tell you something. A black liberal politician, I'm even more suspect of them than the white ones. These ones will sell out their own mothers for the white liberals. So he, Raphael, with that grin on his face and preaching all that anti-God nonsense in his church, if he thinks he's just going to walk, it's a new time. The New World Order's here. America is now a part of the family of globalist nations. And we're going to take a page out of Trudeau's book and Ford's book and Macron's book and just deal with Americans like they deal with their people. It isn't going to happen. It isn't. You're going to have an organization worse than the Tea Party. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be. Americans don't put up with crap for too long. And however goes America, goes the world. That's how it always has been, and that's how it always will be. That's how it always will be. China ain't got nothing on them. China ain't got nothing. And I am so glad that we've got people like InfoWars and all these guys who spread truth. If it wasn't for them, America would be gone yesterday. CNN, Fox, all those guys, they have completely abandoned the grassroots American people. But Biden isn't going to have an easy time. I'm telling you, he's not going to have an easy time in the White House. He's not going to. He thinks he's going to walk in there and I'm going to sign all these executive orders. We're going to take guns away. Everybody has to take a vaccine. Everybody must wear a mask. When you see civil disobedience at a level that you haven't seen since Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X or any of these guys, I mean, these guys aren't afraid. And I'll tell you, even the police in the United States will be a part of the civil disobedience. A lot of those guys are renegade, you know. A lot of them are renegade. It's not going to be good for Biden. It's not. Biden thinks that he's going to tear up the foundations that make America and have always made America a great country. It's just not going to happen with the American people. And I've seen that. I was unsure. I thought maybe America was turning into Canada. Americans were becoming weak. They were becoming like Europeans. They were becoming weak. They wouldn't fight. But when I saw what I saw with Americans coming en masse to the Washington, D.C., storming the Capitol, not to necessarily kill anybody. I mean, we're not advocating to start chopping off heads yet. But to see these Americans come up and say, "Hey," and come up to these Republicans, Liz Cheney, and all, how the hell is the Cheney still in politics? All people with the last name Cheney who belong to Dick Cheney's family should be in jail. They're a bunch of warmongering, just Saudi pocket-filling, Zionist-loving dogs. Those Cheneys should be in jail. Every last one. Dick Cheney should be in jail. His daughter should be in jail. All of them should be in jail. Jail. What the hell does she have to say? She's going to stop. She's not going to object. She's going to try and stop the proceedings. You got brave senators there, Ted Cruz, who I've had my differences with, but he's being a patriot on this one, saying, no, we want this election to be investigated and we're not going to allow it to be certified until it is investigated. And you got Liz Cheney saying she's going to stop everything. Who the hell is Liz Cheney? Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney will never become president. She'll never become vice president. She'll never become supervisor. She will never even become the cleaning lady in the White House. I mean, the only reason she is there right now is people in Wyoming. I don't know if they're all, related or they all know each other or something. She can stay there in Wyoming and try to. And I don't even think the people of Wyoming like her. I don't even know what happened there. Maybe that election needs to be figured out. But Liz Cheney can't do a damn thing. Joe Biden is going to go in there, but we don't need a president. We don't need a president to to hold on to our freedoms. I am saying to the American people, continue with your civil disobedience. Continue with it. Continue with it. Any means necessary. When Biden gets in there with Kamala lock her brother up Harris, and they start bringing in measures like, trying to take your guns away, you hide your guns. Hide your gun. That's when you buy more guns, more bullets, more. Don't let anybody come into your house to try and look for your gun. Don't let them. That's your house. It belongs to you. When they say take vaccines, you're not going to take a vaccine. Don't take vaccine. Don't take it. Don't take it. They have to kill you. I don't know. Escape to the mountains. Do something. You're not taking it. If they tell you have to wear a mask, don't you say you have a medical condition. But civil disobedience is all we have left. It's all we have left. Look. The politicians, we can't rely on them. Look at even what happened in England with Brexit. Is the United Kingdom out of the EU? Yes. But they have negotiated so much away to the EU. I mean, they don't have control of they still don't have control of their waters. They don't have control of Northern Ireland. I mean, there's a lot of things that Britain still doesn't have control over, and Boris negotiated it away. So we can't keep relying on politicians. Be independent. I'll still vote because it does help to vote, even if they try to rig it. The more of us vote, the harder it is to still vote. But civil disobedience is all we have left. And 2021 is going to be a very difficult year for these globalists. 2020 was a difficult year for us. 2021 is going to be difficult for them. Even here in Canada, it's becoming difficult. Look how many businesses have now defied their province's orders and have said, we're staying open. We don't care. Bring in the bouncers. Bring in the horses. Bring all you want. We need to make a living. And we are going to make a living. And there's nothing that you, Ford, can do about it, you domesticated little house slave, you. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing over this virus that kills less than 1% of people. We're not going to cower in fear and destroy our businesses and live our life in chains forever. To hell with you, Ford. To hell with you. I seen a fitness center up there in Arthur. Open. And I salute you, Patriot. You can't close down all of them. Everywhere I go, when I walk the streets, people, first of all, they recognize me because they know, hey, you're the guy who got arrested with Adam Skelly, the barbecue. They recognize me. They agree. Many times, everywhere I'm at, wherever I'm in the bank, the grocery store, the restaurant, walking, everywhere. I mean, people are waking up. Even in Canada here, they're waking up. So 2021 is going to be a difficult year. As far as I'm concerned, these politicians are running scared. These politicians are running scared. By the way, I've been meaning to say this. You know, Doug Ford fired that guy, Rod Phillips, for going on vacation to St. Bart's, which, okay, I agree with, but here's the thing. Doug Ford knew that Rod Phillips was in St. Bart's long before the public knew. So the only reason why Doug Ford reacted that way is because the public found out. So I am calling for Doug Ford to also resign. I'm calling for Doug Ford to also resign. How the hell can you say, Rod, well, you know, if I was Rod Phillips, and I'm not supportive or sympathetic or empathetic with Rod Phillips, but I'd be mad as hell. I mean, I'd be like, hey, the boss made it seem like he was okay with it. Now he's throwing me under the bus. If I was Rod Phillips, I'd go back to Queen's Park and smash shit up. But, you know, like, I think Doug should also go. Doug knows that this pandemic isn't as bad as everyone is saying. He knows it. He let his friends stay there until everybody knew about it. I bet you what Doug Ford said to Rod was, make sure you don't get caught. Make sure you don't get caught. And you've got swaths of politicians who aren't even following their own rules, but they expect us to follow it. And we're figuring them out. And we're shaming them. And they're going to have a tough, awful year. We are going to make sure that all of these politicians, these puppets of the New World Order, we're going to make sure they pay for what they did in 2020 and what they have done even long before 20. We're going to make sure they pay. And Biden and Harris, you all are not going to have a nice time in the White House. I guarantee it. We are not cooperative. Me? I'm Michael Arana. This is the Arana.